A gracious good afternoon once again. 'Tis I, Norton the First, by grace of God, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, back at you with episode 26 of Emperor Norton's fantastic history vlog. Music in the background is a rendition of I Left My Heart in San Francisco, because on this Saturday, Tony Bennett and Charlotte Schultz, the chief of protocol of San Francisco, have asked us, those of us here in the city, and in fact around the world, at noon that day, to go outside to our balconies, our patios, whatever, and sing I Left My Heart in San Francisco to show our resiliency. So the Countess and I will be doing that. We will, of course, film it and post it here later on in the day and on all available social media. Well, let's get to today's history. Isaac Smith Kalloch, 18th mayor of San Francisco. He was the 18th mayor, but how he got there is somewhat convoluted and filled with crime and scandal. In 1879, he decided to run for mayor of San Francisco. It was not long before he came under attack from the San Francisco Chronicle's editor-in-chief, Charles DeYoung, who was backing another candidate. DeYoung, with the hopes of taking Kalloch out of the mayoral race, accused the minister of having an affair. Kalloch responded by accusing Charles's mother, Amelia, of running a brothel. In response, Charles DeYoung ambushed Kalloch in the streets of San Francisco and shot him twice. Kalloch later survived the wounds and, with the sympathy of voters, was elected the 18th mayor of San Francisco. He served from 1879 until 1881, and on this day in 1880, Kalloch's son, Isaac Milton Kalloch, entered the Chronicle building and shot and killed Charles DeYoung dead. He was found not guilty. In 1516, the German beer purity law is enforced across all of Bavaria by Wilhelm IV, Duke of Bavaria, stating that beer should be brewed from only 3 ingredients: water, malt, and hops. Now, the text does not mention yeast because its existence was not known yet. This date in 1564, William Shakespeare, English poet and playwright, was born in Stratford-upon-Avon. Today is traditionally regarded as his birth date. He wrote the, should we call it the Scottish play? This is kind of theatrical, so I think we'll refer to it as that, during the bubonic plague. And he is quoted as writing, "'Tis the time's plague when madmen lead the blind." Sound familiar? This date in 1861, Robert E. Lee was named commander of Virginia Confederate forces during the U.S. Civil War. 1869, Sirhan Sirhan is sentenced to death for the murder of Robert F. Kennedy. 1982, the Conch Republic is established with the secession, of the Florida Keys from the U.S. Oh, we know a thing or two about that, don't we? One of the greatest marketing blunders, or was it, was committed on this day in 1985 when New Coke was introduced and Old Coke was pulled from the market, later to be reintroduced. Anybody remember New Coke? Wasn't very good, was it? In 1989, on this date, wine merchant William Sokolin breaks a bottle of 1787 Chateau Margaux wine, possibly had belonged to Thomas Jefferson. It is estimated that that bottle of wine was worth $500,000. Oh well, no use crying over spilled wine. Not sure about that. Birthdays today, 1928. Shirley Temple on the good ship Lollipop. Remember her? Yes, yes, indeed. Lovely picture of her in the Hotel St. Francis. Who else do we have today? Roy Orbison, 1936. Only the lonely. Terrible imitation. I'm sorry. The $6 Million Man, Lee Majors, 1939. Michael Moore, the documentarian and political activist, was born on this date. John Oliver, from, of course, This Week with John Oliver, I believe it was this last week with John Oliver, got that wrong, was born on this day. On this date, deaths, we have Sam Ervin, famous for the Watergate Committee during the Watergate hearings. We also have Harold Arlen, the composer of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, died on this day in 1986. Also in 1986, film director Otto Preminger. If you've never seen his movie Skidoo, you owe it to yourself to do it. Howard Cosell, oh, terrible imitation, I'm sorry, died on this day in 1995, famous for, of course, Monday Night Football. And Boris Yeltsin, the Russian politician, first president of the Russian Federation, died on this day in 2007, the age of 76. Well, that wraps it up for today. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to tune in on Saturday for a very special one, the singing of I Left My Heart in San Francisco. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay healthy, stay inside. If you go outside, wear a mask, and be kind to each other. A gracious good afternoon.